That process of becoming. The process of becoming who you are meant to be is one that you are the only one who will ever understand, truthfully. Going on that process may feel like hell on earth. It may feel like something you've never done before. It also might surprise the people around you. Those around you might call you crazy. They might call you names. They may shed negativity onto you when you start going on that path to becoming who you're meant to be. I experienced this in my own way with my loved ones and close people around me, and it's a natural thing that happens. It doesn't say any much. It doesn't say a ton about the people in your life to begin with, um, in a negative way. Because truth be told, we don't like change as humans. We do not like change as humans. It's something that we have to choose to become comfortable with. That being change. But that's again that own process, and most people never go into that. Most people end up falling out of it, even if they do go into it at some point in their life. So again, when I started this journey 4 or 5 years ago, and I began to spend my time doing things that other people weren't doing, when I began to spend my time doing things that other people called stupid or boring or a waste of time, these different negative kind of ideas based on their perception, it was hard to continue going at sometimes. But I allowed the voice in my head to be louder than those voices. I consumed more of the positive, encouraging content online around those kind of ideas than I did be around those people that were spitting that negativity my way. And part of me knew that it wasn't, these people weren't just bad people. Again, these are my friends, my family, my loved ones, my close loved ones at times. I knew they weren't bad people. I knew they didn't have some sort of negative ulterior motive against me. I didn't fully realize like I do now, but it's all about projection. Many times when we begin to do something new, we take a step in a different direction than anybody else around us has been doing or has ever done. Or even worse, we take a step in a direction that someone has gone down a path of and failed out of. We're going to face rejection. We're going to face uh, resistance from those people, especially if they're like an older kind of parenting mentorship, not even mentorship, but parenting kind of older person than you that already tries to give you advice in certain ways. You know that one person that just gives you advice on things that you never ask advice for? You know they mean well, but their advice just comes out whenever they want it to. Yeah, those are the people, especially where again you start going down that road. Maybe they've gone down a similar road and then they gave up. Something bad happened, something hard happened, and they ended up giving up. Those are one of the worst ones and hardest ones to get past because again they have this previous experience that was terrible and is actually still probably a story in the back of their mind that caused all these problems in their life and all these different negative ideas that they don't take accountability for. So they'll project it onto you. They say, "Oh, hold on, man. I did that back in the day. You don't want to do that. That's not a good route, man." And lo and behold, they're just projecting what happened to them onto you, and actually what they allowed themselves to go through onto you. Don't get me wrong. There's tons of hard, terrible tragedies that happen in life, but it's always about our reaction. Always about our reaction. If we allow anything to be our story that took us out of the game, that took our power away, that's exactly what we're doing. We're placing blame and we're getting out of the driver's seat. We're saying, you know what, it just wasn't meant to be for me, and that sucks. And you know, it's because of this and that and that. If it wasn't for that person not doing me this way, you see, these kind of ideas, they're all a projection. They're all internal uh, stories that people tell themselves for years and years and years based on whatever happens and based on the pain that they still feel from giving up. So, my friend, when you go on that process, that journey, and you take those steps forward, move steadfast, move through it with confidence as best as you can. More than anything, move consistently. Continue to take the steps, no matter how small. Don't allow those people around you to tear you down. Don't allow your own mind to tear you down based on what those people say, because that's what you'll end up facing. When you go into that process and things are more difficult than you expected at some point, and it sounds like exactly what your person told you was going to happen, make sure you don't just give up based on that. Make sure what you do is you begin to analyze what is happening, analyze and interpret what all is going on with full accountability. Meaning, it might be something terrible that happens to you within that journey. Or it might feel terrible, I should say. But oftentimes, we always have a part. We always have a part to play. And even if it's someone that just does you terribly wrong, you can still take accountability. Say, you know what? I shouldn't have gave that person the power over me to do me wrong in that way. And you know what? Even because I did, that's no shame on me. That's shame on them. And they'll feel it. It'll come back to them. What goes around comes around. Right? So take those steps and move with grace and presence. Become that individual who took those steps on their own. Don't wait for others to give you the push that you need. Don't wait for others to not give you resistance. Develop the desire and move by faith. Walk on that path and know that you are headed to where you're meant to be headed. Even when times are uncertain, know that you are supported, that the universe, divinity, God, your higher self is on your team and it is in your favor. That means even if you go through what you feel, what seems like hell, there's still a point behind it. As long as you are in alignment in the right way, if you are releasing the things inside of you that are not meant to be there, to then allow the divinity to work through you, to then allow your higher self to be present. Continue to walk that path, my friend. Take the first few steps. Ignore those who are going to shine negativity on you. Maybe write what they say down, but don't take it to heart at all. Right? Especially if it's someone who did take steps down that path. Look at what they're saying so you can take note of it and kind of be wary of it down the road. But again, don't be paranoid to where you manifest these kind of things. That's what happens. The things we're most worried about, we end up manifesting because we are putting them on a pedestal, and things that are on a pedestal, either we never get there, right? That's what happens. If we are worrying about something, therefore we are putting the good thing, the situation that we do want to happen on a pedestal, we never get there because we're not worthy, and we're always worried about whatever's down here preventing us from getting up there. So, guys, start the process, continue down the journey, continue on the path. You'll never look back once you get rolling. Have an amazing day, guys. Let's go.